Hello to you, and thank you for visiting my YouTube channel. This channel is all about helping lady small business owners with finance, business, and marketing strategies to help these ladies build a strong brand. This video is part 2B of a two-part series on how to do basic single entry bookkeeping using my simple spreadsheet template, so you can say goodbye to that shoebox full of receipts that I know you do have and the expense of monthly bookkeeping software subscriptions. Some of the ladies who have already downloaded the spreadsheet have now completed their bookkeeping for last financial year and have lodged their own tax online for the first time, thus saving them hundreds if not thousands of dollars on bookkeeper and accountant's fees. Now, I'm not advocating that you don't use an accountant or contraire. What I am advocating, however, is knowing your numbers is an integral part of owning your own business. If you don't know your numbers, then how on earth are you to make sound financial business decisions? If you don't know your numbers, how will you really know your true cash flow? And if you don't know your numbers, then how will you really know if you're running at a profit? If you watched my last video, that is part 1 of this two-part series on bookkeeping for small business, you will have learned that by doing your own bookkeeping, you become more operationally efficient. Operational efficiency is directly linked to long-term financial business success. And by doing your own bookkeeping, especially in the startup stage of your business, contributes to this operational efficiency. And by doing your own bookkeeping, you are really feeding two birds with one scone, because not only are you developing efficiency habits, you also get to methodically analyze where all your income is precisely coming from and where exactly you are spending all your revenue. All that revenue, where you're spending all that revenue. So let's jump straight in now to the step-by-step instructions on how to use my spreadsheet so you can be your own bookkeeper in your beautiful business. The link to download the spreadsheet is in the description of this video. If you don't have Microsoft Excel, well, that's okay, because the spreadsheet will open in Google Sheets. Now you will see that there are 3 spreadsheets now for you to choose from. One is for ladies everywhere, the world over. This spreadsheet excludes the months for the financial year, and it also excludes any sales tax. So you can add in your own financial year and you can calculate your own sales tax, or send me a request and I will add these in for you. The second spreadsheet is for ladies who are registered for goods and services tax in Australia. And the third spreadsheet is for those who are not registered for GST. And this is the spreadsheet I will be mostly using in this video, because from customer feedback, most of you are not registered for GST. So first up, a quick lesson on Excel. Then I will give you an overview of the new updated spreadsheet and you're gonna love it. And then I will show you how to input your sales and your purchases and explain your year-to-date summary with your profit and loss and your cash flow. And then I will show you a really awesome table that, wait for it, calculates your income tax for you. And within this section, I explain to you how to take money from your business if you're a sole trader, and how to take money from your business if you're the director of your own company. And I will also show you how I set up my bank accounts for business. After that, for the ladies who are registered for GST, I'll show you how to fill in your business activity statement online so you don't have to spend your precious money on a bookkeeper to lodge your BAS for you. And then I'm going to teach you how to do budgeting and forecasting to help you build a strong brand. And to all the beautiful ladies in business, I thank you for being here and for taking the time out of your busy day to learn how to do bookkeeping the easy way. And sure, there's a lot to cover here, and I suggest you go back and watch part 1 of this 2-part series if you haven't already, and then make yourself a nice strong coffee, download the spreadsheet from the description below, and sit back and enjoy the show. Rightio, let's jump into my computer. Here we are inside a new sheet inside my bookkeeping spreadsheet, and a whole document like this isn't referred to technically as a worksheet. It is in fact by definition called a workbook, but that's just semantics, isn't it? I call it a spreadsheet, and I think most people do. Now down at the bottom of this spreadsheet are all separate sheets that you will see inside the bookkeeping spreadsheet workbook. At the end here, I've just added on a new sheet, and you do that by just clicking there. There we go. There's another one. So now let's go to the top left-hand side of this spreadsheet. And across here, see where my cursor's going? These are called tabs. And inside each tab, we will find a ribbon. So this here is referred to as a ribbon. But the real magic happens in Excel in these little rectangles, which are called cells. And when we look at this spreadsheet, we have columns that go downward, and we have rows that go across. Now down in the right hand corner here, see this little bar here? This is what we can zoom in with. Have a nice close look. So let's say this cell here, this cell is in column C, highlight. See how I filled it in with colour? Do we like that colour? Maybe we'll go one of my brand colours. Okay, so we're in column C and row 6, and where they meet, it's called C6. If we want to put data inside this cell, because it's completely empty at the moment, except for the colour, of course, we can either type directly into the cell. So I'm just going to type in there C6, C6, and that also appears up here in the formula bar. So we can either type directly into the cell, or we can type into the formula bar. So I'll just do that again, C6, and voila, there it is there. Command Z on my Mac keyboard will take that away. Excel is all about mathematics. It does some pretty powerful stuff. It does really powerful stuff, actually. You plug in the tool pack and it goes on and on and on. But we don't need to use that, do we? We're just doing basic maths, plus, minus, divided by, and times, and of course equals to. Let's just get rid of that. There we go. Let's just do something really basic and you can see how it works. So let's just put the number 10 in that column and number 5 in that column. Highlight those two columns, and up the top in this group, I'm going to hit center to center it. And in this column, I want to put the sum of 10 plus 5. So we go equals, and then we go B6 plus 5 equals 15. That is very clever, isn't it? So simple, but so clever. So when you're filling in your spreadsheet with your sales, with the invoices that you have received payment for, and when you are filling in the cells for your purchases, all the calculations are already done for you. So it's just a game of inputting, and I've tried to make it fun for you, because really, if you're not having fun, you may as well go home. Now this concludes my brief beginner's guide to Excel. Let's jump straight in now to the bookkeeping worksheet so you can giddy up with your learnings and get on with your own bookkeeping and building your beautiful brand. Here we are. When you open up your spreadsheet for the first time, you will land on the notes sheet. Up the top of this notes sheet, I have click here and please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Oh, and the daughter's calling me because it's lockdown and she is home from school and she is always starving. What is that with kids? If you click on my logo, it will take you back to this video. And whilst in YouTube, I would just love it if you could subscribe to my channel. It does help me out more than I can express. And what else do I have here? If you click here, this will lead you to my website. And if you click here, you can email me any questions and I'm happy to help you fill in your spreadsheet. But I'm trusting that this instructional video will show you everything you need to know to fill in the spreadsheet quickly and efficiently. Let's just do a little reconnaissance of the spreadsheet so you know where everything is and what you're in for. Okay, let's go down the bottom to the sheet Q1, and by clicking on that, we arrive in Q1, which is July, August and September of the financial year. Q2 is where you'll input data for October, November, December. Q3 is for January, February, March, and yes, you guessed it, Quarter 4 is for the last 3 months, April, May and June of the financial year. If we look down the bottom at the sheets, the next one across is the year-to-date summary. The year-to-date summary picks up automatically all the data that you have inputted from the 4 quarters. This entire sheet has been locked, so we don't disturb any of these numbers. So at the top you have your profit and loss statement, and down the bottom here there's a lovely little graph that will show your sales and your purchases. I'll just open up the 𝙮𝙬 spreadsheet. Where is it? I think it's behind. Nope. There she is. If you have the registered for 𝙮𝙬 spreadsheet, when you go to the year-to-date summary, the first thing you will see is a summary of your 𝙮𝙬 obligations per quarter. Let's just minimize that window. This spreadsheet is the budgeting. We will come back to this sheet later on in the video, but I just want you to have a quick look now. So at the top is where you put in your projections for next financial year. By projections, I mean your revenue goals, how much you want to sell. The next section here is your purchases, how much you will spend in each of your categories. And at the bottom is a summary. There we go. It looks good. I think that looks really good. I hope you do too, but this is not what we're up to yet. I just wanted to give you an overview. So again, just to repeat, down the bottom, we have the 4 quarters where you'll be inputting your sales and receipts. The next tab along is your year-to-date summary and your budgeting. And the last tab here, this is a little bit about my business, Find Her Marketing Strategy. If you click on that, you will discover an offer that I have, but this video isn't a sales pitch because that would just be too tacky and I will sound like one of those marketing gurus out there that are full of BS. So I'll let you discover that in your own time. Okay, let's get on with this by way of demonstrate. Can't say that word, can I? Demonstration. And when I do, you'll be amazed at how fun bookkeeping actually is. Here we are back in quarter 1. The 4 quarters are exactly the same. They've just got different colors to help stop confusion. Let's zoom out. And here we have zoom, which I usually go at 125%, and that zooms in nice and close. So let's just zoom out, say to 50%. At the top of each quarter's sheet, we have our income, and this is where we input payments received. Down the bottom of the sheet, we have the 3 months, where we input our data for our expenses. Then way down the bottom, I have a little box here to work out your income tax, but we'll get to that in a moment. Of course, at any time, if you get stuck and you want to come back to this video, just click on the little icon here, Find Her on YouTube, and you will find me and this demonstration video. So let's scroll back up the top. Okay, now that we've zoomed in nice and close, you will see here in cell D1 that you need to put in the financial year you are doing your bookkeeping for and your brand name. So we can either click on the cell D3 or we can highlight that content, and my brand name is no idea because I'll just make it up as I go along. My beautiful brand. But what has happened here is this information has automatically transferred over to the other sheets. If you do make any changes to any of the headings anywhere, so up the top there for sales and for the categories in purchases in your expenses section, only do it on quarter 1, because what you type in will automatically transfer onto the other sheets. That will just be a pain having to retype that all the time. So now that we've put in our brand name, let's go down into income. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit here. There we go. So it's nice and big. If you see a little red triangle in the corner of a cell, that means there's a note within that cell. So here in July, I do have a note that says this document was updated in 2021. So the pre-formatted date within Excel is 2021. You can click on the cell to exchange the 21 to 20 if you're doing 2021 financial year, or whatever year you need. So I'm going to click on cell A6 so you'll see what I mean. And if you go up to the formula bar, you'll see that it says the 1st of the 7th, 2021. If you're using this spreadsheet in the future, hello to the future, need to change that date to 20, whatever year it is in the future. Changing the year date is really here nor there, but it's the small things, right? Let's look at cell B5 where it says sales details details. And the note here is write in here, meaning column B under sales details, who the money is from and what item they purchased. Example, your customer's name is Sally Smith. You have a jewelry store and you sold her a gold bangle. Now this is just an example. I need for you to take ownership of the spreadsheet. If you don't want to put in Sally Smith gold bangle, then don't. You may just want to put in your total sales for the week. Here's an example. I'm selling this bookkeeping spreadsheet on my e-commerce store. At the end of the month, I will download a CSV of all the sales, meaning column B under sales details, who the money is from and what item they purchased. Example, your customer's name is Sally Smith. You have a jewelry store and you sold her a gold bangle. Now this is just an example. I need for you to take ownership of the spreadsheet. If you don't want to put in Sally Smith gold bangle, then don't. You may just want to put in your total sales for the week. Here's an example. I'm selling this bookkeeping spreadsheet on my e-commerce store. At the end of the month, I would download a CSV of all the sales. So I could just simply put in, let's say it's the end of the month, so 30th of July, and I could say e-commerce bookkeeping spreadsheet and paid by Stripe. So I'll put an S for Stripe because that's the credit card provider I use, and let's just say $500. Okay, let's delete that example. See how I put S for Stripe? When you go to paid via in cell E5, and in this note I have put a little abbreviation for different types of payment you might accept in your lovely business. Here are just some suggestions: bank transfer, BT, Stripe, what I use, PayPal, what I use, cash. But don't forget to deposit the cash into your bank account so you can cross it off when you do your bank reconciliation. Yes, this is very true. Bank that cash. We don't want to cheat the tax department. No. Because acting with full transparency is the only way to behave as a small business owner. And let me just throw in here, when you owe the tax department money, I want you to think of that as a good thing, because if you owe the tax department, it means you're making money, honey. And isn't that the point at the end of the day? To make money, even if you run a non-for-profit. Your goal as the custodian of your brand is to make money. So let's all act ethically, record all our income and all our expenses. Okay, that's my little prep talk there. Let's get back to the spreadsheet. If you have the first edition of my spreadsheet, you will see that it is a little bit different, because from that customer feedback that I was talking about, I've augmented, which is the fancy word of saying tweaked, this new spreadsheet to satisfy the needs and wants of my customers. For those who have the first spreadsheet, you will have in your email inbox a message from me with a link to download this new spreadsheet for free. If I have gifted my spreadsheet to you, I don't have your email address. So please do reach out to me on Facebook Messenger and I will send you the link to download this new spreadsheet. And on that note, when you do purchase this spreadsheet, you will receive automatically all updates in the future, because the future is always uncertain. Tax laws change, things change, and as they do, I will be updating this spreadsheet and gifting you the free updates indefinitely. Okay, back to the spreadsheet. Okay, so on the first spreadsheet, if you do have it, you will only have one column to write your sales in. Here we have 3 columns, and if we go to column H and highlight across to column L, see in the middle here, there's a dark line. That means there's more columns hidden. So right click, scroll down to unhide columns. We'll go across a little bit. There is a reason for this madness. Let's explain this by way of example. How about we use 𝙮𝙮𝙪'𝙡𝙯. 𝙮𝙮𝙪'𝙡 is a beautiful lady, and she is one of my new members in my business and marketing club. 𝙮𝙮𝙪'𝙡 recently started a business, and her product offering is luxurious, ethically made soaps. It's called Lutheran Blue. I will leave a link to her e-commerce store in the description below. Let's just say I purchased from her. So I'm 𝙮𝙮𝙪'𝙡 sitting here doing my bookkeeping, and Carly Beedman made a purchase gift pack. I don't know if she's got a gift pack, but let's just say she's got a gift pack. the invoice number, let's say it was that, and Carly paid by PayPal. Now this is where we're getting back to why there's so many columns. It's your spreadsheet, so you can opt just to have one column, highlight all of those rows, right click and hide. But because Yasmina, and she's our example here, has product offering her beautiful handmade soaps, I'm going to take a good guess here and write soap bars. Yasmina also offers body lotions. Yasmina is also doing R&D into sensual body oils. So let's just write here, body oils. And the next product that she is doing is bathroom accessories. And the next thing she sells is gift cards. And we'll just hide that. So there are her 5 product offerings. So then on her e-com store on the second, let's just say Susanna. I just like that name. Sweetheart, because that's really not a name. Susanna paid by Stripe. Susanna bought $37 worth of soap bars. She bought a body lotion, body oils, and she bought some bathroom accessories. And you'll see at the end here in column L, it's the total of her invoice. Let's just pop back up here to my purchase. And let's just say I bought my girlfriend a $200 gift card. Now I'm just going to make a few mock sales just so we can populate some graphs out of income for July. Here we can see some quick examples of different purchases from Yasmina's product purchases. Now let's just say at the gift fair in Melbourne, Yasmina recognised the opportunity that sensual body mists were in demand. So Yasmina decided to add in another product category, and that is the sensual body mist sprays. And then all of a sudden she started getting orders for said mist. Ooh, looky here. My future husband bought us the gorgeous soap bars and the sensual body mist. But where the real magic happens is not in my fantasy world. It's on this spreadsheet. I'm going to zoom back out. Let's just go to 100%. We can see an overview here of 𝙤𝙪 turnover of $8,098. This figure is populated in here, and we'll just scroll over here a little bit more and zoom in. We can see here the product breakdown by percentage. So 37% of 𝙤𝙪's sales has come from their signature soap bars. Then we have 26% in body lotions. The new sensual body mist is at 15%. 4% of all 𝙤𝙪's sales are in gift cards, 12% with bathroom accessories, and 6% in body oils. From this rather impressive, albeit pretend, income for 𝙤𝙪, I will just open up the registered for 𝑏AS spreadsheet. Before I do that, I will copy this data and paste it into the 𝑏AS spreadsheet. Open up those columns, unhide, and paste that data in to enable us to look at the figures for the lovely ladies who are using the registered for 𝑏AS spreadsheet. I'll just zoom in here and scroll over. On this spreadsheet for ladies registered for 𝑏AS, in column M, we have the total of the GST, which is the total sum of the invoice divided by 11. Then when we move on over in the 𝑏AS spreadsheet, and we're in nice and close, and doesn't that look good? In July, 𝙤𝙪 made $8,098, and here in this cell will be our total purchases. But to date, 𝙤𝙪 have collected $736 in GST. And from this table here, it is telling Yasmina that she currently owes the ATO that $736 that she collected for the Australian Tax Office. And over here, I put a little note that says we will put aside this amount so we won't have to worry about finding the money when VAS is due. And of course, there aren't any expenses yet, so Louthran Blue is running at a profit of $8,098. Boom, boom. Getting back to our income here, I need you to take this spreadsheet as your own. Whatever data you input to the spreadsheet, I want you to have a reason behind that. And I think that reason shouldn't be not just to tell you the sum of your sales, but I want you to go back in and look and study and draw conclusions out of these figures. This isn't about assumptions here. This is about the numbers telling you the facts. We can see just by this example of me typing in some made up figures and fantasy products for Louthran Blue that when they did the trade show, they made $4,100, which is actually not much to make for a trade show, considering a trade show 3x3 stall is generally about $3,500. But anyway, so one would expect and one would make the assumption that following on from the trade shows, Louthran Blue would receive an influx of online orders from wholesalers who discovered her beautiful products at the fair. Therefore, Yasmina can go back into her figures for July and the following month, and she can see if there was big orders from the wholesalers. And from this data comes knowledge. And from knowledge, Yasmina can make wiser decision about whether doing a trade show is financially beneficial for her brand. If your choice is to get really detailed with your sales and you have more than 29, 30 sales for the month that you want to record, firstly, let me just show you here, between 35 and 74, I have hidden those rows too. So again, you just highlight over those rows, right click on your mouse and unhide. I'm sorry, that's gone out of the recording screenshot. There we go. And it gives you more rows. And getting back to the titles of the different categories, you don't have to separate your sales into your product line extensions. Instead, you could do this. Let's just say I have, let's just think of an example. How about we use Sharon Watson. Sharon is also a member in my marketing club. Sharon is starting up a new online store selling products to people living in remote areas. So let's just say that Sharon is selling on her e-commerce store. I think she's using WordPress, so it's WooCommerce. And she'll also be selling some of her products on an Etsy store. And she'll also be selling via social commerce. So she'll be selling on Facebook and Instagram and Pinterest. And let's just make something up here. And she also sets up a market store on every Saturday morning to test the new products that she's listing in her store with her local market to get their feedback. So here I'll write market store, and we'll just use that date, the 1st of July. Let's just write sales. And Sharon sold $500 on her WooCommerce store. On that day, she sold some goods through Facebook, and she had a really nice sale on her Pinterest store. Then on the next day, her total sales on her WooCommerce store were $800. She sold a couple of items on Etsy, and there was a customer on Instagram. And then the next day, more sales. It was a pretty slow one on her WooCommerce store. Etsy went rock and roll that day. And Pinterest, there was a really big order that day. Then on that same day, she did a market store. I'm just going to write market store there. Market store sales in her local area to test those new products that she wants to put on her website. And on the market store that day, she made $800. So then at the end of the month, or at the end of the week, or at the end of the day, let's just hide these rows so we can see more clearly what is going on. So again, right click, hide. So over those 3 days, Sharon made $1,550 via her WooCommerce store, $500 from Etsy, $55 from Facebook, etc., with a total of $3,805. Now, having this knowledge also helps Sharon decide where is the best use of her time. Now, clearly from looking at these fake figures, that her WooCommerce store is generating her the most amount of revenue. Now, if I was Sharon, I'd think, okay, so people are going to my WooCommerce store and spending more. So a good use of my time would be to perhaps A/B test my WooCommerce store to see if that converts to more sales. If I was Sharon, I would invest more time in blogging because these people are finding her organically. I would perhaps test out some Facebook ads to see the increase in revenue, and the market stores for a little bit of work on a Saturday morning is invaluable, so she'll keep on doing that because that $800 is giving her enough of return to buy more products to test in the market. Now I'm going to give you one more example because it's always nice to have 3 examples. And I would choose an example that's a service-based business to show you that this spreadsheet works brilliantly for both product-based and service-based businesses. So what can I use? What can I think of? I know, I'll use Donna Hartland. Donna and her husband have a photography business here on the Gold Coast where I reside. Donna has joined my membership specifically so I can help her with SEO. Her business is long well established, but because of unforeseen circumstances in the macro environment, namely COVID, weddings aren't exactly happening. And weddings is what Donna Hartland's business specialises in. With the lack of income for weddings, Donna has been thinking creatively, like all entrepreneurs do, and seeking opportunities in the marketplace. So therefore, Donna has come up with the ideas by jumping into other categories of photography. So here, Donna has her wedding photography side of her business, and she does do boudoir photography, and she's going to try doing personal branding. And I do know that they got a contract recently for elite real estate photography. And let's just say, just for the sake of filling up all these columns, that Donna moonlights doing photo and video editing, because I actually know she's very good at that. And then let's just have a guess here that she's an affiliate marketer for the camera gear that she uses. I'm just going to write products. Okay, let's just say on the 1st of October that, let's just use me as an example, Carly Beedman is getting personal branding photos because God knows I need them, and that is for a fee of $2,500. And then that same day, 1st of July, in the afternoon, I'm just going to use Yasmina Despot. She also wants personal branding photos, and she's giving Yasmina a discount because Yasmina is the nicest lady in the world. And then the next day she has a photo shoot with Chevron Luxury Homes. Let's say that's a real estate company up the road, and one of their clients is selling a house, and it's $4,000 for that photo shoot. And whilst she was there on this day, Chevron Luxury Homes also bought from Donna camera equipment because their in-house camera was RS. So there we can see, this is just an example how you can use this spreadsheet if you're a service-based business. And because we all like to share the love, I will drop Donna Hartland's website link in the description below. I really want you to get as much value out of this video tutorial. So right now I'm going to fill the 4 quarters with mock sales so it can generate data to show you how it looks in the year-to-date summary. So I'm going to input this data. Then when I drop it into my movie maker, I will speed it up really quickly. And in, say, 20 seconds, you will see this data come alive with all the sales. This is terrific. Now we have some data in our spreadsheet. I'm going to grab this data and drop it into the GST spreadsheet so I can show the ladies that have the GST spreadsheet how their GST calculations are looking. Here on the sheet for ladies who have the registered for Bassett spreadsheet, let's jump to the year-to-date summary to have a look at the summary of our GST collected. And there we can see for each quarter we owe the ATO because we have collected for them 10% of all our sales. And it does say here, if it is a positive, meaning these numbers, the ATO owes you. If this number is a negative, you owe this amount to the ATO by your due date. So overall, we owe the Australian Tax Office $5,231 in round numbers for this financial year for our pretend brand. This concludes my demonstration of how to input your sales. That didn't take too long. Now we're going to jump into inputting your purchases for the year. here we have arrived at our expenses for this quarter. There are plenty of columns created for you, and I highly recommend you don't add in any more columns. If you do, you'll completely bugger up the spreadsheet. And also, when it comes time to lodging your tax, you will either, one, go to an accountant or lodge it yourself through the MyGov portal. When you go into the portal, it doesn't ask for a detailed breakdown of what you spent your money on. In fact, the ATO doesn't really care what you spend your money on as long as the money spent is spent on your business. So here, there are enough columns for you to personalize, for you to analyze, to help reflect over your expenses and to help guide your decisions in the future. And I'm going to do this demonstration pretending and of course I didn't write a script for this YouTube. So let's just list a few things about myself that I can generalize about the ladies who are not registered for GST. Okay, I work from home and I have, a business that I do know about is fast moving consumer goods. So let's just say I make celebration cakes. I also make biscuits. I also make, what else can I make? Pavlovas, because who doesn't love pavlova? Especially a pavlova margarita. I had one of those one night in the West End in Brisbane in this funky little cafe that had a chandelier in the window with Barbie heads as the lights. Anyway, okay, so what have I got? I make celebration cakes, biscuits, pavlovas, muffins, and yeah, they're my 4 product offerings. Let's write those up. So here in my categories, I buy products to make the celebration cakes. I also buy products to make the biscuits, and I make pavlovas and muffins. Oh, I don't really like muffins. So there are my 4 product offerings in column F, G, H and I. My product offering number 1 are the celebration cakes. Oh no, you know what? I'm wasting time there. Let's scroll down here and let's just copy those 4 categories. Control C and paste it into there. There we go. But that has put the colours out. So being a stickler for perfection, I am highlighting those 4 cells, going to Home, picking up the Format paintbrush and dropping those colours in there. I love that about Excel. Small things, right? I had to buy a lot of small things when starting my baking business, and because I'm risk averse, I invited the local council in to inquire about the council laws and was told by the council inspector that I needed to install new fly screens in my kitchen, and this was a $600 expense. So let's scroll down. My very first expense for my pretend business. So let's say that happened on the 5th of July, and looking at my pretend bank statement here, yes indeed, my very first purchase was from Fly Screen Incorporated for new fly screens. And what category should I put that under? How about, let me find one. If there wasn't one there that suited your expenditure, just claim one of these ones and personalize it for you. But I'm going to use that percentage of home office expense or factory, and there I'm going to put in the $600. Now scrolling back to the beginning, I want you to have a look in column C, and there in cell C237, you will see total purchases. This works similar to the income, where this amount is a sum of the rows across. So I just inserted that $600 and it automatically calculates the total there. Okay, moving on. I applied for an ABN because I needed the ABN to register my business name with ASIC. So on that same day, on the 5th of July, ASIC, and here, business name registration. And that is a government fee, $37 it cost. And I know that every year on the 5th of July, I need to give the government another $37 to keep my business name registered. And on that same day, I went into GoDaddy, and here looking at my pretend bank statement, I do see a charge for $6.95 to register my domain name, www.carlyskitchen.com.au, and that cost me $6.95, and I will put that under website and hosting. And I'm just going to zoom out here because I can't see all the categories clearly. Let's see, 90%. Oh, that's good. And the next thing I did, according to my bank statement, because it's jogging my memory, I knew that perception is everything. So I set up a G Suite account and purchased a business email address. And the decision to purchase a business email address was made because the value discipline I chose to be able to compete in the marketplace is customer intimacy, because my business would involve a lot of customer interaction. So therefore I chose the name Carly at 𝙭𝙪𝑒𝑠�kitchen.com.au, because for me an email address such as 𝙭𝙪𝑒𝑠�kitchen@gmail didn't give the impression that I was really serious about my business, and by having a professional business email address gives the impression to potential customers that I am actually a fair dinkum business. Now I chose Carly at 𝙭𝙪𝑒𝑠�kitchen.com.au over say info at or inquiries at or say sales at, because as stated my value discipline is customer intimacy and I'd like my customers to think that they were emailing me personally. So let's just write up that expenditure. 5th of July, same day I was doing all my admin work, and it was G Suite, and I will put that under, let's say, subscriptions, because that is a reoccurring subscription that I need to pay every month, and I want to track that individually with all my other subscriptions that I will no doubt sign up for. And because I know that making a profit is important before we grow, I decided to bootstrap the startup stage of my business. So I jumped on Google and I searched for a coupon code, and I found one. So instead of paying the reoccurring monthly subscription fee of $10.95, I only pay $7.95, a sweet $3 saving per month. Remember, small things. Great. I was all set up legally, and also the admin side of my business was done. Fantastic. Good job. I then went and bought more equipment. So on the 6th of July, I had a bit of a shopping spree at Kitchen Wholesale Suppliers, and I bought a new kitchen whiz thing. And looking across here at my different purchase categories, and I wanted to make this spreadsheet really personalized for me, I am going into that cell there, and in here I'm going to write in equipment chattels, you know, all those other little things that you need to buy, like utensils and things. So that day I spent, according to my bank statement, $1,450. Ouch. Then I went over to Bunnings on that same day and bought shelving and storage boxes. Again, I'm going to put that expense in equipment and chattels, and I spent $2,500 to set myself up. Now that I've entered in those startup costs, I see that I have spent $4,594. And the great thing about this spreadsheet, let's scroll to the top, I can see here that I'm already at a loss of $3,809. Let's just quickly jump into our year-to-date summary. Here are our total purchases, see down the bottom here. And if we go now to the right-hand side of the screen, we will see this bar graph here. And there are all our purchases for our startup. And down the bottom here, we can see that $600 quite clearly for those fly screens that the council inspector made me install. And there's that $37 for my business name registration. And for the subscriptions, there it is there. You can hardly see it because it's only $7.95. And back here in quarter one, I'm going to take a little bit of time now inputting more expenses. So when we go to the year-to-date summary, you'll have more of a realistic picture of what to expect in your own spreadsheet. Now that I've inputted all my expenses for my beautiful home baked goods business, let's just scroll to the top of this quarter, quarter one, and across the top here you will see a snapshot of this quarter's cash flow. Now July, there are our expenses, do you see there? And that's our income there. So our expenses were a lot more than our income. Now going back to August, it pleases us to see just at a glance like that our income is more than our expenses. And to the right here, in September, we also made more money than what we spent. And that information for July, of course, is in this little table here. Scrolling down, there we see quite clearly in August we made a profit. Scrolling down to September, and yes, we've made a kind of sort of similar profit. And over in the pie chart, we can see a breakdown of where our profit is coming from. And just glancing at that, we can see that there's quite an even distribution of revenue coming from each of our product offerings. Let's do the same in quarter two. So I'm clicking on quarter two sheet. In these tables, and across the top, look at that, our income is going up, and our expenses were pretty much the same across those first 2 months of quarter two, and then our expenses shot up in December. Now it's time to have a snapshot look at quarter three, and look at that, income, 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 profit, profit, profit. Quarter four, let's have a look at that. Again, profit, profit, profit. Of course, these are only made up figures, but I just wanted to put the sales and expenses in just to show you that with this bookkeeping spreadsheet, everything is laid out for you. If you are using a cloud-based accounting software such as MYOB or QuickBooks, I mean, it doesn't, everything, as soon as you enter something, it like disappears into the software. On this spreadsheet, you can just see everything there in green and white. And here on your year-to-date summary, you will be able to see your sales and your purchases. And scrolling down, here we have your total business cash flow in. This is your sales for the year. And here underneath, this shows you in red the cash going out of your business. And because we love color and shape, there's your income coming in, and here's your money flowing out of your business. And over on the right, you made a profit here. So as you're working through your bookkeeping, each time you come to like the end of the week or the end of the month or the end of the quarter, you can jump into this sheet and see how you're traveling. I've also included the amount of money you took out of the business for your personal use. So we're going to jump back into quarter one now, so I can show you how to record the money that you take out of the business for your personal use, for your savings for your holiday. And as a small business owner, you deserve a holiday. Running a small business is hard work. It's hard to make money when you first start a business. It's really hard. I heard this great saying once: if it was that easy to be a millionaire, then why aren't we all millionaires? And to help you get on that highway to millions, you will need to take personal drawings out of your business account to not only pay for your personal living expenses if you don't have another source of income, but to invest part thereof, those personal drawings, into an investment that isn't directly linked to your small business. You know, and I know the saying, you shouldn't put all your eggs in one basket. I personally take 10% of all my personal drawings and I micro invested in 𝙭. I will leave the link to 𝙭 down the bottom, and we all like free money, right? If you sign up using my link in the description, you get $5 and I get $5. And yeah, love free money. Rightio then, let's get back into this spreadsheet and we'll go to quarter one and I'll show you how to write up your personal drawings. I've got personal drawings in its own category outside of your business expenses. It's just not going to make sense here to take drawings in the first quarter because we really didn't make that much profit. So let's just jump over to quarter two. And here I'm going to say in October, I take personal drawings of $1,000. In the next month, let's just say $2,000, in November, and in December, $3,000. I'm just popping that in willy-nilly, just so we can have a look in the year-to-date summary where we were, and there is that $6,000. And when you look at this bar graph, that the money flowing out of your business has the extra $6,000 there. But the money that you withdraw from your business account doesn't affect your profit or loss. It just wouldn't make sense if we added that $6,000 in here, because this figure here shows the health of your business, and the money taken out of your business doesn't affect in any way your profit or loss. If you do make a loss in your business, you are still required to lodge an income tax return for that year. And if you do make a loss in your first year of business, I don't want you to think that your new business venture is doomed for failure. Businesses that run at a loss in their first year of trading generally spend more than they earn because of a myriad of reasons. For example, your R&D costs were high, or let's say you spent a lot of money on advertising to build brand awareness, or you invested in expensive equipment, or your shop fit budget blew out. Think of your loss as one of the first steps to achieve your long-term brand vision, because you know, and I know, that great brands aren't built overnight. They never have been, and they never will. Let's talk about profitable businesses now. Your business profit or your business loss forms part of your taxable income. Your assessable income includes all your sales in your business as well as all other income that is not part of your business activities. For example, capital gains. Another example is wages from that 9 to 5 or that casual job you hate. I don't want you feeling anxious when it comes to tax time. You must lodge your tax return. There we go, making you anxious. No. But you must lodge your tax return, and then the final date for lodgement is the 31st of October. And if you miss this deadline, you'll be hit with a fine. However, if you're owed money by the ATO, or if you've had a good tax history, you can often get the fine withdrawn. If you log into your MyGov portal and click on the ATO link and follow the prompts, you'll quickly work out that it's not difficult to do your own tax return. If you call the ATO, they'll even walk you through these steps so you can rest assured that you won't make any mistakes. And if you do make a mistake, you can amend your tax return at any time. Now let's jump back into one of the 4 quarters of this spreadsheet, because I've made you something. It's something that I use, and I thought it a great idea to include this in the spreadsheet for you. And here it is. I'm in quarter 2, and this table is at the bottom of each of the 4 quarters. The reason I have jumped and zoomed in on this table in quarter 2 is because, remember, we took drawings in this quarter, so we want to talk about that too. But first up, let's talk about this little table here. The reason for this table is so you can work out your assessable income at the end of each of the 4 quarters. Actually, you can work out your assessable income at the end of each month. See, I've got it there. In the first part of this table, we have our total sales for each month. So this is our income for our business, right? But our assessable income does include all other income. Remember, I said capital gains or wages. So I've put another column in here to include your gross wages. So let's just say in October, I added up the 4 pay slips. Let's just say there's 4 weeks in October, right? And I got paid $1,000 a week. So let's just say 4,000. And then when I look at those pay slips, the amount of PAYG, my employer retained, let's just say $1,500. And then in the next month, let's just say it was the same, hey? So down here, I'll change that to 4,500. That's 3 times 1,500. Yeah, right, good. And, oh, why is that gone? Weird ass. And then in the next column here, I want you to put in any other income you received, which could be capital gains from a sale of a property. I invest in Raise, I said that before, so I took out some of my dividends. So let's just say, by way of example, in November, I took out 2,000. Okay, so here we are in the total column. So this, if we double click on it, that is the sum of our sales. It is the income from a job, and that's hiding that. And then I made no other income that month, and so forth and so forth. So my total income that I received in that quarter was $34,994. But I do have deductions, which are the purchases for my business. And then there could be other deductions that you claim. Whatever they are that aren't related to your business, I want you to pop them in here. So therefore, the estimated total income for October, that's all the money that I received, less all my business expenses, less any other deductions, is $4,794.05. And right there is the total taxable income for this quarter. Then let's just have a close look at cell YZ43. Look up here in the formula bar. I have taken my total taxable income and found 25% of it because I personally want to put into a separate bank account 25%. You might be more risk averse than me and want to put in, say, 30% or 32.5%. As with everything in life, the choice is yours. You may choose to put away more than that, or you may only want to put away 10%, but do put a percentage of your personal drawings away in a separate bank account at the end of each month, so it's sitting there ready to pay the tax office at the end of the financial year. So in this column, I do have a total amount, but this amount is the sum of the 3 months. And then if we look here, we'll see the formula. See, it's the sum of October, November, and December. But if we do have a job outside of our business, our employer does pay our tax for us there. So hence why I've deducted that off. From this table, I know that I need to put away $447 into a separate bank account. So when it comes time to lodging my tax return, I know that I have money there to pay it. Now let's talk about personal drawings. This might seem obvious, but I'm going to say it anyway. If you're the director of your own company, you shouldn't be taking money out of your business as personal drawings. If you need to take money out of your business, you do so as a director's salary, and then you pay the tax office when your BAS is due, your PAYG. If you need to take money out of your business other than your salary, you do so as a dividend, but the dividends are only taken from profits after tax. And if you're a sole trader or in a partnership, you don't pay yourself a salary or a wage. Okay, you don't do that. Instead, you take personal drawings. You don't pay tax on your drawings per se. You only pay tax on your profit. Hence why this table is so useful. And so is this bar graph on the year-to-date summary, because as you take personal drawings out of your business account, you will see in black on this bar graph, it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And by looking at this, you know when that black is getting close to the income above it, you know, it's starting to line up, that you are taking too much money out of your business. So when you see your business running out of profit, I strongly advise you don't skim that money out of your business account. Instead, work out precisely how much money you need for your personal use. Knowing how much money you need to take as personal drawings should be one of your very first considerations before starting your business. So this is what I need for you to do. Work out your budget. And on that note, let's jump over into the budgeting spreadsheet and click-a-rama. And here we are with some bunting. Gotta love Canva. Okay, I'm going to make the assumption, because we know I'm good at that you know exactly what your personal budget is. And if you don't have a personal household budget, I will upload a spreadsheet into my online store at www.findher.com.au, and I will make a YouTube video explaining how to fill it in and how and there's no word of a lie in what I'm about to say, how I, as a single mummy with no cushioning, i.e. financial support, never have to stress about paying for our day-to-day living expenses and life's little luxuries, e.g. holidays. I'm not a rich woman, no siree, but with my personal budgeting spreadsheet, I darn well feel like one. And how I set up my business bank accounts contributes to these feelings of richness, and how this simple system that I use takes away all my business money management stress and confusion, and I get to see precisely how much cash at bank I have every single day. So this is how I've set up my bank accounts to make my life more operationally efficient and stress-free. I have 3 business banking accounts: a business debit account, an American Express credit card, and a savings account. The first account is for receiving all payments from sales. The second account, the American Express credit card, is for paying for my business expenses. And the third account, listen very closely now, this account is for transferring my elected 25% of my profits, so I'm not stressing out at tax time. I am totally head over heels in love with this card, the American Express Discovery Credit Card. It has no annual fee and I earn 0.75 Qantas frequent flyer points with every dollar spent. My referral link will be in the description of this video because I really want you to have this card, and I explain more reasons why, and I go into more detail on a separate video how to set up your business bank accounts. The reason why I've put how to set up your business banking accounts in a separate video on YouTube is because the way I've set up my business bank accounts will help other ladies. You know, those other ladies that aren't using my spreadsheet but are paying for expensive software subscriptions and bookkeepers, and for other ladies too who struggle with their business money management. Picking up the topic again of paying and wasting money on a bookkeeper, and at the same time having a look at the savings account that I use for tax and GST savings. Once upon a time, I was paying a bookkeeper to lodge my BAS for me. I had always assumed that a bookkeeper needed to check over my bookkeeping, and I also assumed that I needed a bookkeeper to lodge my business activity statement. Well, the day came when my bookkeeper got too busy with her other clients, so she postponed lodging my BAS. So this is what I did. I called the tax office and they helped me fill in my BAS form. Now, understanding back then in the olden days, there was a physical form that you filled in, but they helped me fill it in and it took no time at all. I realised that day that I had been wasting money on a bookkeeper to lodge my BAS for me because it literally takes a total of 2 minutes to do it. And because of the automatic calculations on my spreadsheet, I think I have reduced that time to under a minute. So if you are registered for GST, here, let me show you how to lodge your BAS on time in under a minute. Step 1, open up your spreadsheet. I've opened up the registered for BAS spreadsheet. So this is for ladies registered for BAS, right? Down the bottom of every quarter's sheet is this table. And here you'll find these numbers are extracted from your sales and expenses, that you typed in above. When I lodged my BAS last time through the MyGov portal, I took a screenshot of the form that you fill in online. Let me just open that up. There it is. Look at that. Now, see how I've got G1 here on the spreadsheet? There is G1. So whatever that figure is there, you put it there. Now here I've even included including GST. So when it says, does this include GST? Hit yes. What's the next one? GST on sales. That's 1A. There it is there. And then 1B. There it is there. Hit save and continue. Then on the next page, it will say whether you're getting a refund or whether you owe the ATO for this quarter's BAS, and that is that figure there. That's it. Honestly, that would take under a minute, including login time. Very easy. So easy. And what is also super easy to do and super quick is take this money here and transfer it into your tax and GST account, ready to hand over to the ATO when your BAS is due. Now let's move our attention back to the task at hand, and that is budgeting and forecasting for next financial year. This is one of my favorite things to do in marketing because this is where we get to think about and then articulate our marketing goals when we don't have a formal marketing plan. Here we are back to screen recording. In this section at the top of this sheet, what you want your sales to be for each month next year. This is step 1. Now, because this video is running way too long, I've written in across here what I want my sales to be for the homemade baked goods that I'm making in my fantasy business. Step 2 is scroll down to this section. in here, you will adjust your expenses each month for each of your categories. Remember though, your purchases are directly correlated with your sales. Here's an example. If I was to sell 92% more, say, celebration cakes, my cost of goods, also known as variable costs, will also increase. But you also have fixed costs that don't increase. An example of a fixed cost would be if you lease a factory, it will stay the same. And if you know that it's not going to, then you just adjust it in the month that your, say, lease goes up. Scroll down now to this section, my forecast for next financial year. The expenses that you've just budgeted for up in this section are now included in there, the totals for each month, and your sales forecast is all across this row. Here you write in your personal drawings for each month. Remember how I took $6,000 in this second quarter for my pretend business? So I just copy and pasted $2,000 per month across there. Now let's look at this. Our projected cash flowing in appears here. Our cash flowing out, our expenses, appears in here. And here we have our estimated profit or loss for next financial year. Then the $24,000 from our $2,000 every single month is here. So our estimated cash at bank at the end of next financial year is that much. Pretty cool. Let's to the top of this screen. Let's look at our marketing activities to help us achieve our revenue goal. We've got a plan, right? There's really no point slogging away in your small business every single day if you don't actually write down what you're doing and focus on those. But those goals, they should be smart. Here, if you click on why you need SMART goals, that will lead you to my blog page, and I've written a blog there on SMART goals. Let's read this. My revenue goal for next year is $113,200, which is a 92% increase in sales from last year. Is a 92% increase in sales possible? Well, yes, it is, if you focus on your marketing activities. And here, to help you out, I've given you 3 examples. Number 1, I will dedicate 1 full hour every day, yes I will, to writing a blog post, and I commit to publishing at least 1 blog post every Sunday for the next 12 weeks starting on X date. And I can pretty much guarantee if you do that, you will start getting traffic to your website. And here are 2 more examples for you, and here are some helpful tools that I use, and you may find these tools useful too. And I think that's a wrap. And I hope you got tons of value out of this educational video to help you do your own bookkeeping using my simple Excel spreadsheet. And because most of the ladies watching this video are in the startup stage of their business, my bookkeeping spreadsheet is intended not just to help you keep track of your sales and your purchases, but it's to help you make informed financial, business, and strategic marketing decisions as you go about building a strong brand. Please share some love by sharing this video and my website page with other small business ladies who want to be just like you and I and don't want to waste money on accounting software subscriptions and bookkeepers in the startup stage of our businesses. If you haven't already written a comment below, please do, and I kindly ask you subscribe to my YouTube channel, because this shows YouTube you're getting value out of my teachings, and YouTube will suggest this video to other small ladies in business. My name is Carly Beedman, and I'm a Master of Marketing with Distinction and a certified practicing marketer with the Australian Marketing Institute. I am a mummy to a starving teenager in lockdown and a paratron of a cat named Eddie, who hogs my desk and purrs all the time, so I have to re-record and record. I created my business when COVID hit after a lifetime of entrepreneurship and with the desire to pass on my knowledge and skills to lady small business owners so they can build the business of their dreams and become financially independent. So they, in turn, can employ ladies in their business so we all have the financial freedom to walk to the beat of our own beautiful drum. I'll be leaving a link in the description below to one of my product offerings. It's called Find Her Business Online Directory. Please pop your details on the form to claim your own free listing to help you get found on the World Wide Web. I invite you to reach out to me on the social media platform of your choice. If you have any questions at all, I'm always happy to help. For now, I wish for you an amazing day and thank you for taking some time to spend it with me. And I wish you all the best in your endeavours to build a strong brand.